Hello everybody. This is a nice Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon in Michigan. First Sunday of the month, 2014. And today I'm going to talk about the devil. Not my favorite subject, but it's a little more extensive than most people talk about or read about. Because I'm actually going to go into what's going on, okay, in real life and in the spiritual world. I often portray myself as somebody that's in the background. I really don't know much. My word is as good as anybody else's, and I'm just another nut out there. But really, I'm not. I actually do know the truth, and I do know the actual stories and stuff. I can't say stories. It's actually what's real in the spiritual world. And it's just too bad people don't watch my videos and take me serious, because they could really benefit a lot from these videos, even as stupid as they sound. And I sound like another kook on YouTube that really doesn't know anything and is just trying to make himself look like something, which I think is really funny that it's like that. But that's the way people think, and they wouldn't know somebody that actually knew God, or if it fell on them and out of the sky, they wouldn't know. But that's not the reason why I'm saying that, is to try to trick anybody. I'm actually trying to help people. And it's just strange how it works out, that people don't realize it's the same in the Bible and the way it was then it is now. People don't know nothing. And you can say that I don't know anything, but you'd be just wrong. I do know. Took a lifetime to know, but I do know. So this what I'm going to talk about, the devil, is what the devil has actually done for real. It all started way back with Adam and Eve, and the devil faked him out then, and he's still doing the same thing with everybody today. And everybody's just as gullible today, worse. But see, the thing was, Adam and Eve actually saw it for what it was. It was a way to keep. It was a way to be like God. So she took it as that, and it wasn't until she explained that to Adam that Adam understood it. See. And did the same thing. And but see, the whole thing with women, the men ruling over the women, really wasn't quite like that. It's not to rule over them like that. It's really to share a life with them. But the authority would always rest with the men with the salvation part. They were supposed to be the head priest of the household and teaching the spirituality, because they could. It's within them to do it if they want to do it. Just most don't know that to want to do it, that it's available. And me, of course, I'm kind of like Adam and the rest of them too, so I kind of fall in that category. And whether you want to believe it or not, those who don't, tough luck, I guess, and go about life your own way. But you're really fooling yourself if you think you know more than I do, because you don't. I really hate to say it, but it's true. I downplay myself a lot, and the bad thing about it is everybody believes it, and it's too bad. But I actually know, and so I'm going to tell you what I know. And see, the devil, he got in there, and the devil has influence over people just like God has influence over people. There's one spectrum to the other side of the spectrum. There's good and there's evil. There's people that actually know and understand what is right and what is wrong and have chosen sides. All those in the middle are in the gray. They don't have any proof over anything that anybody says, even though they want to believe, and believe bad enough they'll believe bad people and what they say. And the people that are in the gray area, they mean to do good. You know, they want to do good in the world. But the devil has had his way so long that even they are caught up in it. And, you know, I may add things to the Bible that you will see that. I'll add the parts that are missing because the Bible was incomplete. And it was incomplete because it wasn't taught correctly. Not because things were intentionally left out. It just wasn't taught correctly. The stories, when they were rewritten just by the words, and people look at the words, but they don't know exactly how they lived. And you have to be that way to know it. If you're not that way, you're not going to know it. And the only way to be like that is to be changed by God to be like that. That's the whole point, is that God is the one that saves everybody, not people. I mean, people can show the examples and stuff, but if you really want to know the truth, go to God. He'll answer somehow if you're really serious, and he'll know if you're really serious. And the devil, he tricked everybody. Because the things that the devil offers is always money, power, and control over people. Those are the three things that the devil always offers when he approaches. God never approaches anybody. This is the difference between the two of them. Because God doesn't approach anybody. He'll wait for the person to go to God and to ask, because God already knows what's going to be asked, and then he picks and chooses from all of those people who he's actually going to tell what to. And if you're one of those people who were lucky enough to get some real inspiration and not something imaginative, that you think God did something but you don't have any actual proof, there's a difference between the two, see? And the devil, he will offer those things for you or to you, especially if you're one of those people that are going to find out from God. He'll try to head you off, and he'll try to kill you, or he'll try to place one of these other things before you. He'll place them if you beat him, if God grants it to you. And he'll offer those things in the hopes that you will change sides. And it's a gesture of friendship and who you want to be like, because you don't want to be like somebody. You know, you're going to choose in your life what you're going to be like. So you're going to choose friends that are more like you, and that you can learn from and mentor from. And that's the big thing. And the devil will come in there and make those offers to head you off. And what people don't seem to understand is the personality changes in that. If you choose God's side and you're on the one end of the spectrum, then you're going to be changed to a really loving individual for the purpose of salvation. And if you choose the other side of the spectrum, you're going to become a real lousy liar that's going to manipulate people and use their power against them. And so when you look at the whole picture, you get people that want that power, and they'll kill everybody to get it. They don't care. So this is basically what happened to the church, is that someone was offered power, or people were offered power, money, wealth, and control over people, see? So when they got a hold of the scriptures and made their own church, it was really the devil's church, because devil influenced it and inspired it. So all the churches that are created today are created from the same sources. Whether you want to believe that or not, that's up to you. But that's what took place. So anybody that gets caught up in that, see, the devil can tell the truth too, but he leaves a lot out of the truth. He's a liar. That's all there is to it. And he likes to put people in a place where they cannot be saved. He wants God to fail. He does not want people to be saved. And it's on a very large scale. It's not on a little tiny scale where people think that they can see it coming. This is on such a scale that they don't see it. Instead of people wanting to do their own investigation, they just take other people's word for it. And you can't do that and be saved. You really need to do your own research to figure things out. And it helps to have some form of inspiration from God to see those things. So devil controls 99.9% of the religion of the world. Not that there's not any truth in it, because a lot of it is based on truth. But in how you do the things that you do within it keeps you from actually being saved. And this is a big controversial thing, see, because there are people out there that have worked all their life to do something, and then this nullifies it. And it's not intended to argue the point. It's intended to show what is actually taking place. If you want to believe in something, believe in it. We each have our free will to do what we want while we're here, our probationary period. Were we locked up before? Yes, we were. We were locked up before, you know, and it wasn't just like being in prison. It was that we were confined within a world that God was a part of. But when we were put on probation, a probationary period, and it's no different than the court of law. We're put on a probationary period to see what we will do. Are we going to head back to where we came from? Or are we just going to stick around and hate each other to the point where we want to be destroyed by each other? And the whole point about love is to want to save yourself so that you can save other people. See, that's love. Covered from that way, so I'm going to turn the camera. So when the pastor says, oh, the devil can come in and sit in church, just because he can. Should he be allowed in church? No, he should be deathly afraid of it, because he isn't a part of it. If any man of God ever walks around the devil or any of his angels, then they're going to hiss out and they're going to scream. So the devil has a big control over the world because of the money, the power, and the control over people. And you'd be surprised how many people go after that, even if they are not offered it. The only people that get offered those things by the devil are the people that are already contacted by God, or are going to be contacted by God, because God knows and the devil knows. And that's what I'm basically here talking about today, so that people really understand that when the Bible talks about how all the people were back then with people towards God, is that they can't see it. They're easily influenced by other people and what they say, and those people are really evil. They don't mean to be, but they are because of who they listen to. They're not following their own journey. The path of righteousness is not what they're on, if they're falling for that. The path of righteousness is that such you investigate everything thoroughly. You want to come to a conclusion. You don't listen to people and what they say. Somebody could say that person is bad. There could be a big rally in front of their yard. Their friends getting trampled over and their life threatened because somebody's trying to push their agenda towards a certain goal, and these people are representing something different. And you probably have seen that on the news, you know. And things are done more for the purpose of a long-term goal than it is for a short-term goal. And it's to get people to think a certain way. And people that listen to other people and automatically think something's wrong are wrong in themselves. Everyone needs to do their own investigation into it and then come to a decision instead of just getting all emotionally riled up. Anybody that does that is wrong. Because there's a lot of innocent people out there that get trampled over, and then after the fact, or because of how the laws are set up, everybody's guilty of something, and they're going to take them to trial 5 times in a row over different things to see if they're guilty of it. I don't believe in that due process as that stands that I said. That just goes to show that the people that do that are looking for excuses. And sure, there are bad people out there that deserve to go to prison. But when it takes 5 times to go to trial, usually that means that people are after somebody that's not really doing anything wrong intentionally. It's permitted that you can say, hey, you're doing something wrong, and they correct it, without having to go to prison for it. That's part of our forgiveness setup. But to actually do that to somebody would really be wrong, and that kind of shows what people are doing and the outcome of it. But what's actually going to take place is because they want God out of the schools and all this and that, and they want a total separation of church and state. And which just goes to show you that if the state is in your family, then there's no middle ground. There's no family. Because the state can't be the family. And the church can't be the family. Totally. There's the family unit. And those others are brought in as an understanding of this is what's available. And this is what good can come out of it. Not that there's a bunch of people out there that want to control the world, you know, kind of thing, which is how they make it appear, which is kind of scary if you stop and think about it. Because if, you know, most people go about their life, they don't want to be like have attention drawn to them because of those things, you know, because those things are scary if they come upon you for some sort of reasoning. And when those kinds of things happen to good people, then it's usually that's because there's the devil's influence on it. And I'm not saying it just because you know, the old fire and brimstone preachers would preach stuff like that, but this is really a true thing. People are influenced by the devil. And there are people who meet the devil, who agree with the devil, and do what the devil asks. Because they don't want to be told what to do, and they want the power and everything, and they don't want nobody else to have it. And usually the people that happens to are the ones that either the devil knows there's something wrong with the individual, and that individual is open to it. But see, the devil knows too that there's only so many people he can use. But his main objective is to head off the people that actually have been told by God and shown by God the truth. So the devil is the ruler of the world as it sits. Jesus Christ will come back to redeem those who have chosen to be his, and everything else will turn to dust, pretty much. The devil will no longer exist. The people that followed him won't exist. The people that didn't want to be saved won't exist. Only those who wanted to go. And, you know, and I've often fought over what God has done, but it's the thing about choice and love. Love gets everywhere. Love will do anything. So, not for the purpose of evil, but for the purpose of salvation. And that's how you basically tell the devil from God. Because you can't, because God will only come if the person asks for it, and only if God sees within the individual that they really want to be saved. But they're not the only ones that get saved out of it. Normally, it's like all the families, all the generations that person belongs to get saved too. So the whole family's blessed. And when the devil comes, it's going to be over when the devil tries to actually reign over the world through an individual. I think that's called the Antichrist. He's going to do it through a religion. And it could be already happening because there's religion that you volunteer for, and then there's religion that you're forced into. We see a lot of the forced into religion because people don't want to die, so they just change it, you know, and do it their way to stay alive, which is pretty sad. But that just goes to show you that how the devil is operating. Here in America, he does it undercover. It's worked for him so far. Me, myself, I don't like to go to church and find out somebody's lying or somebody's using a story about something else or about my life that they're going to use against me in church to get me to believe that their church is right. You know, somebody that has that kind of influence really makes an impact on everybody else around them. But you'd still be surprised how many people will like, well, why can't I just make my own decisions and do life how I want to do it? Well, you don't get saved that way. You do it God's way or you don't do it. So I'm bringing this to you in hopes you'll see it and understand it in the scope of the depth of the deception, and wish you luck. Have a good day.